He ignored my calls, so I sent ghosts to his mailbox, and they destroyed his perfect life. It began with a major transaction that went disastrously wrong. He was the professional I had hired, the expert I paid a significant sum to ensure everything was handled correctly, but he deliberately concealed critical information, and that deception ended up costing me almost $60,000 in unexpected repairs and legal fees. When I found out, I tried to be reasonable. I just wanted him to make it right, but he stonewalled me at every turn. He ignored my calls and emails. When I showed up at his office, he had his assistant lie and say he wasn't in. The arrogance of it made me furious. I felt completely powerless, cheated by someone who held all the cards. A lawsuit seemed futile. It would have drained my remaining resources with no guarantee of success, so I chose a different kind of justice. It was no longer about getting my money back. I wanted to inflict the same kind of gnawing stress and helplessness that he had inflicted on me. Finding his home address online took about 5 minutes. He lived in a big house in a quiet, wealthy suburb with his wife, presenting a perfect picture of success. That picture was what I decided to target. I wanted his wife to be the instrument of his downfall, not me. My plan was methodical and patient. I picked his wedding anniversary as the focal point, a time that should have been happy. Each year, about a week before that date, I would send a simple, unmarked envelope to their home. Inside was a single sheet of paper with a few vague, typewritten sentences. Things like, "Another year has passed and I still think about it," or "Hope you are well and remembering our time together." The messages were designed to be suggestive, but deniable. I never signed them. To avoid any patterns, I drove to a different city each year to mail the letter, ensuring a new postmark every time. I just wanted to plant a seed of paranoia. For the first 2 years, I had no idea if my plan was having any effect at all. I sent the letters out into the void and could only imagine the quiet, tense conversations they might be causing. I just had to be patient and trust the process. Then after I sent the third letter, everything broke open. About a month later, I was driving through his neighborhood and saw a moving truck parked in his driveway. My curiosity got the better of me. A little online, digging through public records and local community forums told me the whole story. His wife had filed for divorce. The timing of my letters, always arriving like clockwork near their anniversary, had finally pushed her to a breaking point. She confronted him, certain he was involved in an ongoing affair. What happened next was beyond anything I had planned. My scheme had unintentionally uncovered a real secret. He had, in fact, had a serious affair many years prior, and it happened around the same time of year I had chosen for my letters. My fabricated, ambiguous messages sounded just real enough to his wife to seem like proof that the old affair had never truly ended. He tried to deny it, of course, but the original betrayal had been exposed, and the trust was irrevocably shattered. I felt a cold sense of satisfaction. My guess had hit a target I didn't even know was there. The divorce was the first domino. It was messy and public. During the discovery process, his wife's lawyers dug into his finances, and in doing so, they uncovered the same kind of unethical business practices he'd used on me. The information was passed to the state licensing board. He lost his professional license. Forced to cover massive legal fees and a divorce settlement, he had to sell their beautiful house for a loss. Within 6 months, his entire life had imploded. His career, his marriage, and his finances were all gone. I only meant to create a ghost, but it turned out his house was already haunted.